Okay, here I am again. Yep, you got two in one day. I need to talk about another addiction that really is causing me problems. I talked about the gum addiction, and actually in the last few days that has calmed down. I did go get my blood work today. I also got my allergy shot. Something has bloomed here. I'm allergic to ragweed, and my nose was running and running, and since I've been on allergy shots and I've been very diligent, I haven't had a lot of problems, but boy, I was miserable today. Now that the sun's kind of going down, it seems to be calming down a little bit. But back to the addiction. I talked about the HCG boutique. And for those of you that are on my weight loss surgery channels, HCG is the hormone that many of us are using to get our weight down. And I'm able to do that even though I've had multiple bariatric surgeries. And I've decided to try and get to my bottom goal on HCG, and then I'm switching over to keto. So HCG Boutique, the first time I heard it, is any thrift shop that you go to. It's like, HCG Boutique? I live near Flint. We have a big city. I've never heard of. Where is this HCG Boutique? And you know, that's kind of one of the newbie jokes, kind of like when I was a kid. I used to take my friends out snipe hunting in our backwoods. My 18th birthday was a snipe hunt, if you can imagine that. So, those of you that have known me for a while maybe can imagine that. When I feel the need to shop, unless it's Kohl's, and usually my daughter drags me there to use my coupon because it has to go on my charge, but I do like the designers there, and I go there to, some of the designers, and I go there to look for wasp nest, sorry, rabbit, squirrel, hell, can't even get my distractions right. So I go into Kohl's to look at their clearance and to see what's coming up that I should be looking for at the HCG boutiques. So I do buy some new things, but usually they've been marked down quite a bit. I don't ever buy anything there unless it's very much on sale, and then usually if I have a discount off coupon on top of that. So years ago, when I always had dreams of losing weight, I would bring home clothes that were way too small. And I'd just put them away. And then I'd lose a few pounds and I'd haul them all out and I'd try them on. And I call that playing in my closet. And gave me great pleasure, allowed me to really, I don't do tape measures well. I have so much skin that it's really hard to get a good measurement. But I could put on something that was too tight 20 pounds ago. And at one point I had measured across the back of each one, and you know, the back on here is 22 inches, and I'd try it on and say, fits across the stomach but not across the boobs, kind of a thing. Put little sticky notes on them and hang them up. And then they'd have to, some of them would have to go back down into the basement. And in the beginning I bought things that appealed to me. I didn't know if I was ever really going to wear them, but I thought, well, you know, because sometimes I would get things for $1. And the most I ever paid, well, we have one, the Salvation Army's here in the more expensive areas of the state. Their things can be quite expensive. I think I paid $6.99 for a Talbot's jacket once, but oh, I love it. I don't even know if it'd fit me anymore, but it's gorgeous. Anyway, so as I began to fit into these things, I would bag them up. Now right now in my living room I have 6 bags of clothes to go to the, my husband's sister is the director of the Christian Outreach, and 15, I think, churches in our area have come together to make this volunteer center, and they have a clothes closet, and they have a businesswoman's closet, and they give away whatever anybody needs. And so sometimes I end up bringing things home that I know I won't wear, but they're very nice and would be nice for somebody else. And it lets me shop. So I don't go to, you know, someplace real expensive. I love Chico's, but one time I bought one thing with a 50% off coupon, and that thing was in the back room 50% off already. Now I love it, but I felt guilty that I didn't get my Chico's at an HCG boutique. So that's how cheap I am. You know, it gives me pleasure if I put it on and it feels good, and I think I like looking at myself. It's very hard for me. It was hard for me when everything went monochromatic, gray, beige, and black, because I can't wear those colors. I just get lost. It's just like oatmeal. Somebody spilled oatmeal all down the front of me. So that's when I started going to the HCG boutiques and getting the old things, only I wasn't doing HCG back then. It was just Goodwill or Salvation Army or whatever. But to the problem, it really isn't a problem buying the things at the HCG boutique and then bringing them home. But you have to understand where I came from. I grew up fat. I wasn't fat when I was 2. By the time, I was 4, I was getting pudgy. And I think a lot of it had to do with when my brother was born, my mother was pregnant, and blah, blah, blah. Some of those voodoo things. But chubby girls, and they called them chubby sizes when I was a young schoolgirl. And then when I was in junior high, they were wearing Villager. I still kind of get a kick every time I buy something Villager. I don't think they make them anymore, but I find them sometimes at the HCG boutique. They would wear A-line cotton skirts with teeny little flower prints on them, and then a pastel shirtwaist with a loop in the back, and then a Phelps belt, which was a leather belt that kind of went like this, and then it tied in the front with a rawhide tie. I had designer purses. Even my feet were too big. They weren't making wide shoes then, so finding shoes was hard. Oh my God, and having to wear stockings. We wore stockings to school back then. Being tall and fat, even though my legs were never really huge, I was always having to stand up and sit down, because as the hems went up, those nylons didn't get any longer. Those of you that were born into pantyhose and now out of pantyhose, no, we still were wearing girdles. Yeah. So it was very hard as I grew up to find age-appropriate clothes. And at the time I was a teenager, Lane Bryant was old lady. So I learned to sew, and I made a lot of my own clothes, but they weren't what was in fashion. So that's kind of when I got into my classic lines, because they were easy to sew. I could do the same pattern in different fabrics. And so now I know that some designers like Liz Claiborne, I can pick up a large in most things in her collection, and it's the conservative lines. I have no waist. My waist and my hips are the same size. I'm hoping to change that, but I adopted my baby, so my hips never spread, and I'm just like this. So I still wear over blouses because I'm so beefy around my waist and my back that the belt's around my waist, and then there's just like vacant space because I have no stomach and I have no butt, so it just kind of hangs there. Needless to say, I don't wear dresses much at all yet. But the problem is not bringing home all this stuff, and I have bought things very, very on sale, like at Penny's, short sleeve t-shirts and long sleeve t-shirts to wear with pajamas and things like that. But I forget what I bought and put away because it was too tight. And so I have a double rack in my living room of just t-shirts, dressy t-shirts, Chico's t-shirts, Croft and Barrow t-shirts. I mean, and I need to go through and put them on and try them on, because it was always, when I get my boobs done, then I'll be smaller. Well, I've had my arms done, I had my boobs done, and my boobs are a lot smaller, but I'm looking to come up to a C, and I used to be a D, so I just want to come to a C and have some nice shape to them. And if they can take some off my back, then I may be the same. But what is my point? Yeah, I still don't know yet what I can get rid of. So I'm trying to go through, and I go through, and it's like, I won't ever, there are a few things that I just love to look at, but I won't ever wear them. I won't ever wear them. I bought some stuff when I was sub-teaching that was very nice, dressy things, but yet very comfortable in my lines, and I'll keep those. But Christopher & Banks has a lot of cute little shorty jackets, and I just probably will never wear it, but I love it, and I love that it looks. Here's the problem. Well, two problems. One is that I have trouble getting rid of things. Peter Walsh says for every one that comes in, you have to get rid of one. Well, when you've always been between size A and size Z, you never know where you're going to be, and if you get rid of everything, then you have to rebuy everything. Done that a couple times. I had to actually go back and buy back some clothes once. That was awful. Sold them to somebody, and then I had to go back and say, excuse me, but you know what? I gotta have those back, because a lot of it were things that I had made to fit me. But I'm losing my train of thought. When this last couple of times that I have been in the fitting room putting on clothes, and a lot of these clothes, and the clothes, I now can say, oh, this cut is bad on me, or this is too big. But when I put on something that just fits just right, it's like the heavens open up and the angels sing. Because I once went through an entire teaching school year with 2 tops. It was exactly the same top, one in red and one in blue, and I would wash them every night, honest to God. And I have teacher pictures that one year I had the red on, the next year I wore the blue one. So I had to buy what fit and what looked appropriate way back. Now, things don't cost an arm and a leg like they used to, but I used to have to pay horrendous prices for just what fit. And I'm getting better at looking at something and saying, not really your color. I can pass that up. And when I put something on and it's too big, it's almost like, oh, because, you know, when you're big, that doesn't happen that it's too big. So I'm making an effort to try and wear these things that I bring home, because, you know, like these things don't need ironing, and so I can just run them through the washer and put them on again. And so I tend to wear the same thing over and over again. It's like, you have too many things, you need to wear them or get rid of them. So the problem is that I still am in my fat girl brain. I still am of the mentality that this looks good, I need to have it. If I walk away from it at the HCG Boutique, it will never be available again. Sorry for the, is it helicopter? But if I don't bring that home, I've got plenty of other stuff. So, I can't find anything. I've got big piles and piles. And when it's like, oh God, I remember I had that. Somebody needs something. I have to shift piles, and they fall over, and it's too much. I gotta divest. Oh my God. So, you know, there's Peter Walsh does this clutter make my butt look fat? And Fly Lady, who's an organizational guru from way back, has a book called Body Clutter. And the idea is that when your life is cluttered, when your body's cluttered with fat and your life is cluttered, get rid of the clutter in your house and maybe your body will follow. So I don't have any answers. I just wanted to come out of the closet, so to speak, about my owning too many clothes addiction, which is so bizarre for the woman who at one time had exactly 2 blouses. They were nice blouses, they were big shirts, and they fit very well, but I had 2. And the kids, I had black pants, and I washed those, but I think the kids thought I wore the same pair of black pants one day, and I remember when I finally started wearing blue jeans, oh my God, the kids just freaked. They couldn't believe that Ms. B was actually wearing blue jeans. So I'm running out of time, and I want to go upload these. So thank you for listening, and I will be doing my steps tonight. Bye.